Deluge happens. That shit happens. Deluge happens. Deluge happens now. So different parts of the world, as what's being shown geologically, go into entire deluge states a lot more faster than what people think. Like sometimes, science has these exhausted numbers. Physics has these exhausted over 5 trillion years. And they do that on purpose because once you hear those numbers, the last thing you think is about it happening during your lifetime, right? Seeing you only live 70 years. So again, one of the most important things is to remember that these different cataclysms that happen to different parts of Earth occur frequently as every 300 years, every 500 years, not every 50,000 years. So because of that, again, just highlighting that deluges take place now. So it's not uncommon for an entire place to be underwater if certain geological changes happen. And then this then brings us, excuse me, one second, let me just switch my switcher here because it wasn't on. This is the image that I'm showing, which is again, deluge. Happens all the time. There needs to be recovery after this. And it's just good that now, let's say the world is developed in other areas. So recovery happens a lot faster, right? Technologies are in place. They are preserved in other areas and able to be bought in and fix situations. Back in the day, when something like this happens, everybody just needs to leave. This is like a Katrina situation. Everybody leaves, and then until the water sinks, and some people that know about irrigation and all that kind of stuff get in there to change up the area so it can be inhabited again, it remains mostly desolate. And then if it goes under the ocean altogether, then we never even know that situation existed unless, or that civilization existed unless a diver goes down there and discovers that. So going further, go ahead.
So, we're looking at the deluge, not just as a physical aspect, but as a disconnect point or a disconnected state of being where some of this this culture either was lost or covered up, as in flooded, or was taken and maybe changed or inverted.
Yeah, I would definitely say, if you experience a deluge, like let's say, for instance, those people who left Katrina, they had to start all over again. So when you have to start all over again, maybe someone that's a little bit further along can take advantage of you. You're kind of like living in someone else's house after that. So when a deluge happens, even environmentally, it happens in your life. Like I saw some footage just recently about the scenario that happened in Indonesia with the tsunami. I mean, you have a mother that's lost her entire family, and she's the only one that survived. I mean, you have countless stories like this. So there's this real need then for Earth to kind of move in, or humanity to kind of move in to assist those who have participated in the deluge. But if you have kind of the opposite going on, where some look at that as a weak point of being able to take over the entire empire, etc., then yes, you get what we would say is culture vulturing. You get a complete desolation of that culture, and then it kind of being taken by someone else. And then even the original people never being able to really recover to represent themselves again. So, this is some pretty deep stuff that we're talking about.
Got it.
So now we're going to get into the slightly heavier stuff. Now we know we gave the preface. Yep. And as I was explaining to everybody, remember that everybody is connected in these Isles of Lemuria. But after that, we just had situations like the Mahabharata, 5,000 years of war, right? And even right now, the Mahabharata is hopefully over, but still continues, right? Or we want it to be over, but it still continues. War still happens. So